Cape Verde is an archipelago of 10 volcanic islands in the Atlantic Sea, between Africa and America. It was discovered and colonized by the Portuguese in the beginning of the 15th century. As a Catholic country, around 1940, the Vatican sent a few informers to register and control the Catholic education in Cape Verde. After a shock, new attitudes were adopted since the Catholic system in Cape Verde was a bit messy. They found priests married with more than one woman, lay people conducting ceremonies that should have been conducted by priests, and etc. To solve the problem, the church sent more priests to the island and a new system was installed. And that was how a new community called Rabelados emerged, as a group of Cape Verdeans on Santiago Island that rebelled against the restoration of central authority of the Roman Catholic Church. Their religious protest was interpreted as resistance against the colonizing authority, and they were heavily oppressed by the Portuguese Secret Service. To escape from the new church and colonial power, some of the citizens started developing their lives in a clandestine way. To feel safe, the conservatives moved to a place in the mountains, with difficult access, avoiding the contact with the new religion. The colonizers interpreted this escape not only as a religious revolt, but also as a political revolt. The word Rabelados has a bizarre and interesting origin, with both parts of society giving it a different definition. In Creole spoken by the Rabelados themselves, the word refers to the Portuguese word revelado, meaning revealed. However, the mainland Cape Verdeans, who speak very close to Standard Portuguese, believe the word have come from another root, rebelado, meaning rebel. Therefore, we can see that both groups have given their own input as to the origins of this word, rabelado, clearly coming from their own viewpoint of the Rabelados' break from society. Since the 1940s, completely isolated from the rest of the country and government support, the Rabelados became a strong community working on agriculture in small plots of land, as well as animal husbandry, and more than anything, building their religious, political, and cultural tradition. But their current context is a little bit different. In 2015, I prepared myself for a 3-month field work with the Rabelados. Misako Wasi, a Cape Verdean artist, invited me to stay in the village with them. She was the first outsider to contact the community in 1998, providing new opportunities from the communities such as healthcare, school access, electricity, artistic workshops, and etc. I had greatly assumed that a community that was born from a rebellion against the modernization of the Catholic Church would keep the motivation to keep their religion and tradition. What I knew was that since their creation they had a religious leader responsible for the weekly gatherings to transmit their religious beliefs, their own version of the Mass, and organize traditional festivities and practices. Agostinho was the main responsible religious leader, and his son, Chechu, assumed the religious leadership. This drawing made by Chechu represents one of the religious meetings in the community where the leader is teaching the children about their religious traditions and knowledge about life. The surprising fact is that Chechu, the last religious leader, is now arrested for being involved with drugs and alcohol, which left the community without a religious leader in the last years. The effects are pretty much visible. New Agostinho is still claimed by all the Rabelados, and during my interviews, he appeared as the person responsible for keeping the Rabelados religious tradition alive. His death seemed to be the main reason for losing it. During one of the talks with Sabino, a Rabelado from the village, he told me that Checho could not follow Nho Agostinho's wisdom and discipline, which culminated in a general demotivation for the whole community.
Antes tinha muito festa.
Muito?
Muito festa. Tinha ladainha que fazia tudo semana. Ladainha.
Ladainha, música.
Cantiga.
Tudo semana?
Fazer oração. Antes era assim.
Por causa
depois
da oração.
Também quando o rapaz levava meninas para casa de mãe e pai. E também marca um dia de festa. Convida todos os amigos, famílias. Então um dia que vai festa também.
Essa festa fazia batuco ou não?
Essa festa é batuco.
Faz com batuco.
Antigamente mais é batuco. Quando tem um casamento é batuco, quando pede noiva para casa é só batuco. Ela está por batuco, te mais.
As pessoas mais velhas faziam tudo batuco. Mais velho, mais novo, criança, tudo batuco.
According to other interviews done in field, there are no religious gatherings at all inside the Rabelados community, except for funerals and weddings, which suffered many changes and a ritual simplification, according to them. This same process also happened to Batuko, a traditional dance in Cape Verde that used to be performed by them. In fact, the dance that used to be related to social context and celebrations is now only performed professionally under payment. While I was there, a group of tourists paid for the Rabelado Batuko dance company to perform, and I was able to watch some of their rehearsals and the performance itself. The children were around playing with the steps and the rhythm of chabeta, the main instrument, while the adults were practicing and discussing some details for the show. The dance was beautiful and powerful, but I could feel how they are not interested in keeping this tradition alive anymore. I'm not saying that they did not want to dance it at all, but it was clear that new dances were catching their attention and filling their free time during the day, such as funaná and ballet.
5, 6,
7, 8, frente subiu, lado subiu, trás subiu, lado subiu, frente fechou.
All these changes are followed by the modernization of the village. The children, for example, watch Brazilian soap opera every night, and from there they could find more about ballet class. The television also became a reason for daily gatherings among the community. Having only one TV available, the majority of the Rabelados have dinner together and watch soap opera afterwards. New habits, new context, new generation, new opportunities, new dreams. Life on Rabelados goes on.
da larga casa, tacore menino novo na moda taia sol na peripom. Esta boa número na parede, esta boa com vai entrar de porta. É pra você revelar, volta pra casa, tarombava aquele parede com vai estar boa na luna, está único companheiro, cani nós canônico, está ouvindo no livro, não tá lendo nas vidas. Vamos usar aquele filme, não? Palavras, história revelar, não quero saber perguntar.